Hello everyone, this is Sonic Sam, and I'm here with a friend of mine from the most friendliest place on the internet, the Reddit, and particularly the Overlord Reddit. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yo, what's up? My name is Sander. My
So,
name is Lord Bone Universal on Reddit. So
oh
if you
yeah,
ever want to contact me and get some information, you can always DM me.
yeah, send him all your nudes. Go ahead, but anyway, send him always all the Albedo nudes. Anyways, I brought him in. He reached out to me. He seemed like a cool guy. He seems to know his stuff. So I figured let's do the one thing that was my most popular Overlord video so far, was just breaking down the opening. However, I want to make this very clear. This is gonna be full spoilers. Even in my breakdown, I was pretty timid on the spoilers, not saying anything, not too much about Volume 14 and what's gonna happen. We're just gonna go hard and discuss everything and everything. There's gonna be plenty of spoilers, stuff you maybe don't want to hear, and maybe even spoilers for the movie that's gonna be coming out. So if this is not what you want to hear, I recommend please leave, because we're gonna be spoiling the hell out of it. But if you're here and you just want to hear spoilers, you want to hear two cool people talking about Overlord, then you're in the right place. We're just gonna go right. We're just gonna get right into it. And already, actually, right in the beginning, from 000 of timing of the video, we get a big thing that I think not many people talked about here. We have all the Supreme Beings right here on screen.
This is actually the first time we actually see all of them like kind of together and not in a backflash or something.
We have, I believe, we have Touch Me there. We have the Great Alchemist. I'm just doing
We
these.
have Tarantino,
Yeah,
Greater Talisman.
Yeah, I'll put up the character cards for everybody, because I'm looking on my other screen with the character cards. We have Buku Buku Chakama, which is also known as Slime Shield on the thing. We have Pichuchino, Wind King of the Explosive Strikes. We have Bichu Kukazi. I'm gonna put these up on screen because I'm all for his names, but he's also known as the Samurai. I'm just giving you guys these things. You guys can pause it and read each one because they do come with a subscription. I'm gonna be posting the pages on screen for you guys, because the Overlord books give you like everybody, almost everybody, I believe. We have.
Yeah, but
Go good.
and we also have we have Lucifer.
Oh
And
yeah.
we have
Lucifer.
what is creator? What's Demir's creator's name? I always forgot what his name is.
Who is who?
Demir's creator.
Oh,
Oh, we have Tabula also.
He's Ubent Arranging. It's Ubertaraiginodoru. So is it Urbent?
Right.
Urbelt?
I don't know, bro. It's
Yeah.
like a Nunga gap. It's so hard to.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it's because they're translating a lot of them. Well, some of them have really simple names, and then some don't. You know, like Touch Me just has the most simple name ever, and then the other ones
Yeah,
don't.
and Hero.
Oh, Hero.
You also have an easy
Yeah,
name.
Hero. You know, yeah, Hero. I'm so mad we don't see more of him. I think the Slime Supreme Beings are some of the most interesting ones because, well, because believe it or not, guys, like I said, slimes in the D&D world are extremely like potent. There's a slime for almost every element, for everything you can imagine, pretty much. Like slimes are extremely resilient and adaptable. So I can only imagine a like tank build with the race of like a slime. Like it would be insane. Like they're already extremely hard to kill to begin with.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Buka Buka Chakama actually was a tank. If I'm not mistaken, I wrote her like description of her class and all this shit, and she was supposed to be a tank actually.
Yeah. Let me.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'll read her description right now since we have it here. A famous voice actor that specializes in lolly characters. She usually talks with high-pitched tone she used for acting. When Puka Puka Chakama makes her mad, she will use her original deeper voice. Unexpectedly, she sounds good with the deeper voice too. Her character stats are low, but she compensates with first-class defensive items. Highly skilled as a player, she took on the role of commander during fights. When the whole guild is away, she will hold down the fort until they are returned. Okay, so she played. It seems like from what we know, just from that, it seems like she used. I mean, items are everything in a game. No matter what levels you're in class, your items are everything. Let's just be honest now. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go forward a little bit here. See what we have thing here. You know, they have all the different NPCs here. We're not gonna talk too much about these characters. A lot of them we've seen before. Okay, well, this is actually not too bad of a place to stop here. Okay, let's talk about the maids. You know, because a lot of people think like, okay, well, if there was there was like 48 supreme beings, or was there 50? I can't remember on top of my head.
41. 41.
41. And you might be like, oh, well, there's not 41 full Guardians. Yeah, of course not, right? So some of the Supreme Beings didn't make like max level like characters like some of them did. It's because to build and character you had to like pretty much re-level and build stats into them pretty much. So you basically had to do it all over again. And if you don't know, getting max level in Yggdrasil wasn't exactly always super easy, you know. So what some of the Supreme Beings did actually was, instead of them getting one character to a max 100 level, they would actually make a bunch of small level characters. Like, oh, I'm gonna make 100 maids, and they're all gonna be level 1, but they'll all be in really specific skills, you know, like cooking and cleaning, you know. But go ahead.
Exactly. And as we know, for the people who don't know, that's really nothing that the anime touch upon. But you could only like create so many NPCs that were level 100.
Right.
There was like a max and a minimum, and something that's also taken into the account. Not all the 41 Supreme Beings wanted to create it NPCs, because as we see, like Tabula created 3, and if I'm not mistaken, that could only be like made like 10 to 13 max level NPCs. So, and we also need to take into consideration that it was actually pretty hard to create a really like well-designed NPC, a little like Albedo and Shaltier and Demerge and all this.
Because people don't forget too, they also had to guild these characters too, and they weren't clearly not going to give them the best items they had, because the best items they had they would keep for themselves, clearly, right? You know.
Yeah, exactly. And something we actually see is, I actually had a discussion with another dude on Reddit on, is because Sebas isn't actually that detailed. Like, let's say like Albedo, we know her like backstory was like filled in with a lot of stuff. Tabula loved to make all these enormous big backstories, but Sebas is actually kind of empty. That's why he's not like, he has this opinion which touched me, like this sense of justice. As you know, he didn't want to kill Tuare in season 2, or he was at least hesitant to do it at first because he thought it was not justifying her by just killing her because he took her in. But his like backstory is not that filled, so that's why we not see him like impose Ainz as much.
Because don't forget, he's not even that big of a character himself. He's just like the leader of the Pleiades, you know. Technically in his role, you know, so he's not a big deal, you know, even though a lot of people want to discuss and be like, oh well, he's part of the dragon race and all this stuff. I get it, guys, I understand, people love Cerberus, guys, I get it, right? But he's just not that big of a deal, you know. Like, yeah, he's powerful and maybe he could take on Cocytus at most, but he would lose to maybe other classes very easily, you know. And we can't even put him to the stick of Shaltier, who's just basically like one of the most disgusting things that exists, you know. I mean, I don't mean that in a mean way either. I mean that her build's just really, really ridiculous, even for real players in the real world. Yeah, obviously, probably still some of the best PvP players in Yggdrasil would have been able to take her, but still, she could beat a lot of people. We know that because we literally hear it in the book where they say, like, she could still very easily beat a lot of unprepared people, even at max level. Because that's just how her build was built. Especially in 1v1s, she's built for that, you know?
Yeah, she could probably also, like, take on most of the 41 Supreme Beings. Except is Ainz with his great tactics, like we saw in the season 1. But touch me, she will have a really hard time. But her build to being this really extremely offensive with a lot of weapons in her artillery, and she got a prepared lance who could basically heal her every time she deals damage. And that amount of damage she deals with that prepared lance will heal her the same amount.
Yeah, because people don't. I want to make this very clear as well. We know in the book, like, don't get me wrong, every single player in Ainz Golem was a pretty good player by themselves. But what made their guild function and be one of the best guilds in Yggdrasil was because they was them as a unit. When they were all as a unit and worked together perfectly, they were literally the strongest. I'm not saying that a lot of the Supreme Beings weren't strong, but there was lots of them who just they were good players, but they weren't like touch me level great players, you know. They were like maybe like in the top like 30-40%, you know. But they weren't like, oh my god, the most powerful things. So I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh well, Shaltier is this, Shaltier is not that. Guys, listen, Shaltier is disgusting, guys. It was very known in the book that Shaltier is just her shit is just bonkers, and how she was built to be this duelist, especially in 1v1s, is just not okay. And yeah, very much so. It would take multiple, just like in the anime, it would take almost all the Supreme Beings together to take her on too, because she's just that disgusting of a thing, you know, of a monster. And I want to make that very clear. Shelter is literally a monster in terms of build wise. She can do everything and everything. You know, her weakness being a vampire, being an undead, you figure it would affect her, but it really doesn't. If anything, it just makes her powerful.
Yeah. We could go into the discussion of her being, she's extremely strong, but she doesn't be like Roberto. Roberto is a different thing.
Yeah. We can make a video in the future talking about power levels. We can get into that one day for sure. We'll just go down power levels, the most disgusting to like the weakest, you know. Because we know there's things like Victim, which is like he was pretty weak on the surface, but that debuff he gives is so potent that like it might as well just be, you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll get there. We'll go ahead and continue a little bit here, bud. I got a little thing. Oh, okay, I don't want to miss that part here. I want to show that because let me go back a little bit. I want to get to know Gretel because we will see her, guys. But we will be seeing her really soon. I think we'll be seeing her in the next few days, aren't we? I believe.
Yeah, we're gonna see her in the next episode.
Which, by the way, guys, let's talk about this too. We should have known about her a long time ago. We talk about her for what, in volume 4, volume 5 or something. She's we get an image of her and everything. We talk about her way earlier, but we never talked about her in the anime. So it's very interesting that they're gonna get back to her now. You know.
Yeah, and for people who don't really understand why, like, we see her now. I think some people already have known, like, we are supposed to see her back in the anime, but they cut her. It's a little weird they're actually, like, deciding to add her now, because, you know, we should have seen her, and now they are, like, showing her in a scene that could probably easily have been skipped, but they, for some reason, decided to add it into the new season. And for the people who don't know, I don't think we will get deeply into why we will see her, but basically, they are, as we know, they are going to declare war on the Riestes kingdom, and Sebas, Testonia, and Nigredo wants to talk to Ainz to like try and save some of the kids because they think it's extremely wrong to just annihilate a lot of children and a lot of innocent women. So they will like talk with him about, please save them, will you not please do it, or we could probably like retaliate against you if you are not going to save them. So I don't know if we will see it next episode, but it will be weird compared to how much they are used to cut from the anime.
Yeah.
So it's just so people understand beforehand why the discussion even is taking place.
Well, let's slow down, Sander, because what if somebody here is watching and they don't even know who she is? Give a little summary of who she is.
Okay, so basically, Nigredo is Albedo's older sister, and she's back in volume 5, as you said, the first time we heard about her and saw her, we learned that she's what floor was it she was guarding again? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. It's not that big of a big detail, but she was one of the people that was guarding a floor for sure.
Yeah, but she was so basically Tabla, who also created Albedo and Nigredo. She created her to be this extremely disgusting looking woman. She is said to be actually look like Albedo without skin. And the thing that is, for you guys who don't know, Tabula love to make this called gap mode. Gap mode is basically when you make a character and do the completely opposite with the personality, like we know with Albedo. Albedo, she's extremely beautiful, and she's this pretty woman. She looks extremely pale, extremely weak, but in the inside, she's just this demon who is extremely angry, extremely evil, and she just wants to kill everything. It's a little like this with Nigredo. She's extremely ugly. She's supposed to look like this horror character from the girl from The Shining, from you guys who don't know, I'm sorry, The Ring. But in truth, she looks evil, she looks disgusting, but she has a lot of sense of justice. I think it's actually 500 sense of justice.
Yeah,
she's actually really loving and caring compared to how she looks.
Surprisingly, you would think she would be an evil character, but she's really not. She's probably one of the more nicer characters, which is interesting.
Yeah, because as we know, in Willow 5 where we got to know her, she apparently has this room filled with like dolls and these baby dolls. And if someone enter her room, she will believe that the current person who tried to enter her room had stolen one of her baby dolls, and she will actually start to chase down that specific person down like out of the floor completely with this big scissor, as we see in the preview trailer, and she will just like hunt them down until like I think Ainz mentioned that until you will give her like this baby doll, unless she will actually try and kill you. That was something Tabler loved to do. He'd like to do these small tricks on people to scare them and stuff, these small pranks.
Yeah,
because it was kind of funny.
Because people need to realize that when they played this game, the Overlord series exists like so much in the future in our world that like virtual technology is so advanced that like this happening would be really realistic, you know, for somebody, you know. So this was probably a really good scare for like a lot of people.
Yeah, because exactly if you don't knew what you were walking into, you could probably think it was just, you know, as we know, the Tomb of Nazarick has like 10 floors. We have seen in the anime as well, like this 6-floor arena. They have this all in outside view, like it's a whole new world, but it's actually just a floor in the Great Tomb of Nazarick. So Nazarick is extremely big, like probably bigger than most countries in our world. So for people to like stumble upon her chasing her out of nowhere, she's looking like this scary horror character, chasing you with a big scissor, screaming at you, saying you stole her baby and she's gonna kill you for it. I think a lot of members would have been scared to death by seeing this so sudden, because Tabler didn't always mention to people how many NPCs he created. So yeah, he had probably gotten a lot of times people who come to complain about her. But this was a little side thing.
Yeah, well that's why she kept her at a Pacific Place, you know, and everything. But okay, let's go ahead and continue here. Okay, we're gonna go past this a little bit. Okay, well, let's talk about this just in general. I'm sure this is just something a lot of people was hoping was gonna get kind of better. Was the CGI. Like, unfortunately, when it comes to big army, Madhouse is just not very good at doing lots of enemies. I mean, it looks better than the goblins, that's for sure, but it's definitely not there yet.
Nah, yeah, and when we talk about this CGI stuff, I'm really scared for the movie that's going to come out. That's going to cover volume 12 and 13. If people don't know, people who don't understand, we have time skipped from volume 11 to volume 14 because 12 and 13 is going to be adapted into a movie, which makes sense since that whole arc is 2 books in whole with like almost 700 words in it. I'm sorry, 700 pages in it. So it makes sense that they need to like adapt it into a movie. But for people who don't know, let's just say it's going to be a war, and a lot of like CGI is probably going to be used. So I'm kind of scared to see it.
Well, you can spoil it, Sander. Like I said, this is what we're here for the video for. You can just say, you know, you don't have to be like, oh, you know, I don't want to say too much. You can say as much as you need, you know, like, let's be honest, the Holy Kingdom, which is the, you know, Slave the Bossy, they're gonna lose. They're gonna go to war with Ainz and they're gonna lose. Let's call it what it is. They're gonna get absolutely slaughtered. Let's just be honest now, you know. The Mirage is literally gonna literally in the most ironic way as a devil, go into a holy kingdom is just gonna ruin that shit.
Something I don't want us to spoil is just, let's say Demiurge is going to get a new weapon and it's the best he has. It's going to be so good. It's a high tier club. He's going to use that shit to beat up people.
Oh well, let's say something for sure though. We do know Hagubero, the Hagubero persona, the fake Demiurge, you know, clone. Let's just call that what it is. You know, like his little persona he has from season 2. He is gonna fight Ainz again and he's gonna lose. You know. Because they said that in the most recent episode. They talked about it, how Roberto was defeated. So we know that's gonna happen. That's not really spoilers. You guys, if you haven't paid attention, which first of all that doesn't make a lot of sense because you guys are probably like, wait, wouldn't that happen? You know, that's Holy Kingdom stuff. Holy Kingdom stuff. You know. So it's just
you need to wait till the movie comes out to understand, unless they cut it. But we don't know, so we're gonna spoil it until then.
I'm just hoping the movie. We can do a whole video about that and how we think the movie's gonna come out because we still got a long time till the movie's gonna be coming out. That's for sure. Even though I will go see it for sure. So.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about something special here. This is something. So we knew, for a while now. If you've been paying attention since season 2, we knew what's her name? Rena, the princess. I forgot her name.
Rena. Yeah, yes. Rena.
So Rena has been teaming up with Ainz for quite a while now, ever since season 2 actually. So and we might be like, and I'm ready, and we're gonna get her technical ending this season, technically, because we can basically get her ending, at the end, which if you want to go ahead and talk about it, I don't know if this is something you want me to take or you want to take it.
Yeah, something I thought a lot of people have misunderstood with Renna is because we hear a lot of time like Demiurge talking about this princess and these kingdom. There's this one person who is just brilliant. We hear Demiurge like talk about it, and Albedo saying she wants to meet her. I think it's in season 3 when they talk about his great plan, Ainz's great plan.
Mm-hmm.
Something people don't realize is even though we see like Renna in season 4 talking about creating this orphanage and all this, like she seems like she's trying to do the best for her like her kingdom, her country, trying to help her brother and her dad after the Katsei Plains, war, whatever you can call it, onslaught. But something people don't realize is Renna has been the reason all of this has been happening. She seems like this good princess who's trying to do the best for her kingdom, but she's been working with Ainz and Demiurge and Albedo this entire time.
Yeah,
she's been backstabbing them.
Yeah, even with the orphanage, people understand the reason she built the orphanage is because Ainz is looking to bring players from this world and kind of build them up. Ainz is looking towards the future. He wants to be able to like find potential humans and like train them up. So that's why she talks to Evil Eye in the cart and is like, oh, did you see anyone with potential? Because she wants to report it to Ainz, so so Ainz can maybe like potentially take some of these people so he can build them up.
Yeah, because and I'm gonna put something to that. It's not because Ainz himself don't want to go like adventuring and stuff and see the new world. It's kind of because he's a little scared, like what happened with Shaltir when she was out adventuring, looking for people who knew martial arts to see how strong they were. He's kind of scared that there's other players in the new world, so he will make these adventurers. He's going to, train up from the start in this orphanage, go like look for the new world. So if it happened that they stumbled upon a player with a Dragon Lord or like something like Sling Ferguson who has a world level item, the adventurers will get attacked and not the NPCs or him for that cause. So it's kind of like he's using it to like gain knowledge of the new world in the future, but it's also because you don't want to put harm to like the NPCs of Nazarick, like what happened in season season 1.
I understand. I want to go ahead and just refocus back here on Renna here. Let's talk about her fate. Because if you guys don't know, she's already turned, but her fate is probably something that nobody expects, So I want to go ahead and discuss that. I want to kind of refocus us here on that one. So she obviously already turned, but she's gonna turn on a level that we probably didn't think, even I as a reader was not expecting exactly. I thought maybe she would just be a human that's gonna be on Ainz's side. She goes full on and becomes no longer human. What class she becomes? She becomes like a lower level imp, correct? I believe was what happened.
Yeah. If I'm not, a lower level imp. I believe we actually got the volume. I can't remember, but the manga actually just draw it, and she seemed like a vampire actually.
Yeah,
I saw it on the Reddit.
Yeah, because the only CG we have of it, I already have it on. I'll put it on screen for the. I mean, this you obviously can't see it, but I'll put it through an editing. But we don't really have a picture exactly. The picture we do have is not really showing much. But we do know for sure she becomes an imp. Do we even have an image of her when she's an imp at all? Huh? We don't have, do we?
I don't know if it was a fanfic, but in the group lately they posted like after the whole incident at the end of volume 13, where we will get into it a little later in the video. Yeah. Talk about what's going to happen between Climb and Ainz. Right. But she's like, he got him into that cube. The deal they made, Albedo and Demiurge and Renna, by turning the Riestes kingdom basically into theirs. I believe we actually have seen it, but like Sobin had never illustrated it on something, so I think the manga is the first time we actually see Renna after she turns.
Yeah, and she does turn. She becomes She becomes not human anymore. She becomes a little. Literally, she becomes a monster and everything. Yeah. And a lot of people, and we all gonna probably get that. We're probably for sure gonna get that this season. There's no reason we don't get that this season. I just hope they do adjust it. But yeah, no, that's Renna's fate. And obviously you want to go explain Clem's fate after from like volume 14 stuff.
Now?
Yeah, you can explain. Yeah, might as well. I mean, we're here. We might as well just touch all the Renna stuff. I mean, Clem, what's his name is basically like part of Renna at this point. Let's just we might as well talk about what happens. Go ahead, let him know what happens to him.
Okay, so basically, it's kind of faded in my mind, but if I'm not mistaken,
Because it's not much.
Ainz
We don't get a lot of it. It's a pretty simple thingy, you know.
but basically, somehow I can't remember how it leads up to it, but Renner somehow makes Ainz play this like evil guy, shows him for the first time in front of Climb, and Climb is going to fight Ainz. And basically at the same time, Renner is going to kill the king. So Ainz and Albedo, they're going to teleport to the castle where the king, Renner, and Climb is, and Climb is going to fight Ainz, die trying fighting Ainz, but Ainz make it like believe he was strong enough to like have a fight with him, because Ainz downplayed it himself to make because apparently Climb didn't want to turn with Renner unless he felt like he was strong enough to take on one of the strongest in the new world. So Ainz played a little weaker for Climb's sake to make the deal done with Renner, so they could be together like she always wanted to. And at the same time, Renner just apparently kills the king. We don't really like get too much into detail about it. It's actually a little rushed in my opinion in the light novel as well. But yeah, Climb fights Ainz, dies trying. The little cube Albedo gave Renner in season 2, now episode 2, season 4, we see her get this cube. It's basically a cube for her, and she will get another cube for Climb, so they can like be together forever in Nazarick. That was part of the deal for her turning against her own like kingdom. This promise she wanted to be with Climb forever, and like make him basically her little sex slave.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
which honestly, in everything in Overlord, that's really not that bad of a fate. Honestly, he got it pretty good. Let's be honest. He could have ended up in a lot of different places in the show, and I wasn't sure where he was gonna end up. Honestly, before Volume 14, and honestly, it could have been worse. It could honestly be a lot worse.
Ainz could just like have given like Albedo like the better judgment, and Albedo could just have sent him to a fate with the nearest, like we know Hilma did, like just endless torturing. But he got I would say Climb got a pretty good ending.
Oh hell yeah! He gets to be with the girl he loves. They can fuck all day. If that's not a good ending, then I don't know what a good ending is, man. I mean, he could have gone to the happy farm if he wanted.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, we never really get to touch upon it. But if I'm not mistaken, the only one who needs to do some work to like keep impressing Ainz so they can be together is Renner. So Climb is basically going to be in this bed chamber for the rest of his life, just waiting to get to Renner to come back to him, to basically just have sex with him. Pleasing her. That's the only thing Climb is going to do for the rest of his life.
And you know what? That's what we call death by snoo snoo. If you don't know, that's a Futurama reference, and that shit is great. You know what? It's like, you know what? There's a fate worse than death, but that's not one of them. And it's forever, so you can't even. It's even better. It's even better. It's literally a literal boner. It's like being a skeleton and having literally a boner. It's great. It's great. I love it. I love it. We're gonna go ahead and continue here, but yeah, no, I'm sure that's gonna be a big surprise to a lot of people, and it's probably gonna be one of the more bigger things. I hope we get it. I hope they do it justice in the anime, because it's gonna totally be one of the big. It's gonna be one of the big surprises for a lot of people, I feel.
Yeah, because it's in the anime they haven't really been good showing like the work between Ainz and Renner. You know, if people really like put the intention to it, they could kind of figure out that Renner was working with like Nazarick behind the scenes. But it's not something they full out say at any point.
Yeah, but I think that's why in season 4 they've been putting a bit more into it, and I'm sure it'll probably be fine. But I just want them to get more into like what literally happens to Renner. I hope we get enough justice for it, because a lot of people will be surprised. Because I'm sure a lot of people weren't expecting that.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be extremely surprised by it.
Yeah. Going to continue here. I think the Jerkney thing, it was pretty straightforward with his ending, because we're not going to get much of him at all anymore. We're basically done with Jerkney, pretty much.
The only thing we really see is like what we saw in the last episode, like him putting his his signature on allowing.
Yeah. His arc, I would say, is basically finished. We're going to see basically none of him, if any, pretty much.
I believe we actually saw him one more time. I've seen it on the group, but I just really can't myself recall it.
Yeah.
But I believe we actually saw him talk about him hearing about the attack Philip did on the food carriage, where he was like, which fucking idiot is so stupid to attack Ainz, because you know he has learned it firsthand that trying to do something against Ainz is a bad idea, because he still believes Ainz knew everything he was doing with being in the you know, coming and fighting the warrior king, stopping him from trying to make a deal with the same theocracy.
And people don't understand too. I need to make this very clear as well. They don't talk about this, even though I hated they did it. If Jerkney seemed a little unhinged, is because he really was. He went weeks and months with Ainz watching him through the mirror. I forgot the mirror is called, but it's the mirror he used in the beginning of the season 1, where he can watch people. But what people doesn't know is that you can feel like somebody's watching you when someone uses the mirror on you. That's why even the I don't know if this was ever confirmed, but the village girl, her dad like looks into like Ainz's direction through the mirror somehow, like, and says something, and that what Coach's eyes do. We don't know that, but I think that was the anime's way of being like, hey, you can see the other side mirror. So what basically was happening was Ainz never sleeps. He's undead. So when he's in, even though he goes to a room and rests, he doesn't sleep. So all he's in there doing is watching Jerkney the whole time, trying to get like he's watching him like a live stream, trying to learn how to be a good, like, you know, how to be a good, like, ruler. And this whole time Jerkney is just can feel like somebody's watching him, and he's very paranoid because of Ainz itself, and it just makes him unhinged. He does drugs, he does alcohol, he does everything possible, and never goes away, and he just slowly goes slightly insane. And what does him in is guaranteed the shit that happens at the Coliseum, and that's why he's basically just gives up. They didn't do that in the anime, which makes me so sad. I have a CGI of it from the book, actually, where it's him like rubbing his head, and Ainz is just in the background, and he has like an alcohol bottle, and it's a good little thingy in the book and everything. But yeah, no, I'll have it on screen for you guys and everything. But yeah, like, that's something that they walked right past, which makes me so sad, because we don't understand why he seems so like paranoid. You could just be, because he, you know, Ainz got him there, but it was worse than that. It was a lot worse. Jerkney got what he deserved.
Yes, yeah, and like you said yourself, the anime really don't touch upon it, but in the books,
yeah, it's
you
like
would be
heavily.
surprised how much Ainz like spies on people. He does the same with Neferia in the Khan village. He's really, like, as you said yourself, he doesn't sleep. So when he has done the things with Albedo, you know, talked about it, stempling all, you know, all these big binders all day, and he has nothing to do. He just like to spy on people with the mirror. That's the only thing he really actually does.
Because he literally doesn't, like, he can get tired, but he never sleeps.
Yeah.
like he can get exhausted mentally and stuff, but he doesn't need to literally rest. He's dead, guys. You like, people, the undead in Overlord is very similar to D&D's undead. The reason why Elder Liches in D&D are such a big threat, because they are literally like, they can never stop going. The heroes at some point in D&D has to stop at some point and rest. And now the Lich never ends, it never stops. It doesn't sleep, you know, like, and Elder Liches are probably even scarier in D&D than they are in Overlord, because Elder Liches are not even, like, an Elder Lich is basically the highest tier of undead basically in the D&D universe, and they are disgustingly overpowered. Just to become an Elder Lich by itself is extremely difficult. We can go through that and compare it in a video in the future, but it is very difficult. So get to understand, Ainz is like ridiculous. He's like multiple Elder Liches put together, and so he literally has nothing better to do. But no, it just definitely, like, it was unfortunate they did not give it the justice. But yeah, for sure, Jerkney got what he fucking deserved.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and continue here and everything here. Okay, we don't have to talk too much about these guys. I think it's pretty straightforward, guys. They are how would you say these people their race's name? Because at this point I just call them mole people. Or Kugan? It's like, are you saying
like Kuga?
Oh, like
Kuga.
Oh, like Kuga, but with a Q. Oh, that kind of makes sense. I kept calling them kobolds in my video. I don't know why, because they just remind me of kobolds, you know, because they're little mole people, right? You know, and kobolds are like they're like a mix of goblin and like like a hobgoblin. It's really weird. I don't know why they kept reminding me of them. But yeah, no, they're pretty straightforward. I mean, their fate is over. We don't really get much of them after the Volume 11 stuff. I don't remember. I don't think we do. Yeah, no.
Nah, we don't.
Which makes me sad. I hope we get more of them in the future. I was hoping that that they were gonna be made into a special type of undead. I don't think that ever happened so far, which makes me really sad because I don't know if you know, you remember in the novel how some of the Death Knights look slightly different than they do in the anime.
Yeah, we seen it in the next preview too, the episode preview. They are standing like 2 Death Knights, and they look different. It's because they're from 2 different races that have been made into Death Knights.
Yeah, and the
I think they would touch upon it.
Yeah, because we see them in the covers of the other volumes, don't we? The other Death Knights, like the
yeah, I believe we do, but I can't. It's not something I really recall.
Hold on, guys. I need to get the image for it for him, guys. Give me 1 second. I want them to see what I'm looking at, because this always kind of confused me. So I'm gonna send you on Discord. Give me 1 moment. I know, guys. You know, I'll cut this part probably in editing. Give me a second. Where's a good image of them? Because you're gonna see it and you're gonna probably be like, oh, okay, this is who you meant, and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So give me a second, guys. I'm sending it to you right now.
Or at least if you want to like show an example, you could just go into the preview of the next episode.
Oh yeah, well, they might not be exactly the same. That's why I'm like, look at these guys here. Look at this cover image I sent you on Discord.
Oh yeah, they look different.
Yeah, see, this is why, like, because in the book, in the thingy in the book at the end, they showed these Death Knights as the regular Death Knights that we've been seeing this whole time, which I always thought was weird. I'm assuming it's maybe just a creative choice and they changed the way they look slightly in the thing. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, no, I know in the light novels they look quite a bit different. Because if you go into the back of the page for the Death Knight like character card, they look like this. They don't look like they would do in the anime, which is kind of weird, but they do use almost the same exact weapon and armor and everything. They just look weird. And I always thought that was kind of weird, you know, and so on. That's just
I believe they actually did it for a more like of an animating advantage, because as we know, not all of the NPCs like looked the same from the first light novels. Because if you go back and search on it, let's just take an example. Albedo actually looked kind of different from Sobin's original illustrating offer.
Yeah, and if you own the books, they have a lot of like really early concept art as well.
Yes, exactly, and we see like her horns, just for an example, for they have made it differently from the start of the light novels to like now. Her horns is like more detailed. They have like these small rings. It looks a lot more like some pair of demon horns she has, instead of just the white ones. But I think they actually decided to change it because of Madhouse not being really good at
yeah. Plus the other Death Knights, they look like they're more like drawn in a weird way that like they just wouldn't look probably as good in the anime, which is fine. But I know people have asked me in the past. I'm like, no, those are just regular Death Knights. I'm pretty sure they just look different in the book. So on.
Yeah.
But no, we don't ever see these guys ever again. I don't think we really need to talk about these guys. A lot of these people here are pretty side characters. Basically, we get so little of them, doesn't even matter. So, I mean, yes, I guess he's kind of important, but he's not that important. Let's just say that.
I can't remember him, to be honest.
Yeah, well, he's Gossip's he's the one that taught Gossip.
Yeah, he's not important.
Yeah, he's really not important. Even these people are not that important, So don't get excited, guys. Very little important. We're never gonna discuss them because they're not important. However, I guess we could discuss this. Like the dragon fight was so like. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't know what was gonna happen. We're like, oh, it's gonna be such a big deal, guys. It really wasn't. I mean, come on. I don't even think the Dragon Lord's levels. The Dragon Lord is even that powerful, even in his character card. I'm gonna go back and look at this for a second here. Oh, hold on.
Actually, something funny.
Go.
When I read volume 11, and we got Ainz talked about he was going to, if the Frost Dragons didn't retaliate and bend to him, he will fight them. I actually stopped reading that part and skipped it because I wanted to see it animated first. So when I saw the first animation of them fighting and Ainz just straight up used grass path to like kill him in like 1 second, I was kind of surprised because I was hoping for this big fight because I decided to skip it. So I was kind of surprised too.
Well, do you know the level of the right Dragon Lord? Did you know the Frost Dragon's level?
No, I actually don't.
Go ahead and give me a guess.
Level 80.
Level 46.
46.
I'm not kidding.
The Pleiades is stronger than him.
Yeah, he has 10 levels in race level, Dragon Lean, and young, adult, 10 levels in adult, 10 levels in 10 levels in young, 5 levels in elder, and 1 level in ancient. That is literally all his level. He has 46 levels, and they're all racial levels. No class levels. Yeah, see? Literally. It always says his job is Frost Dragon Lord of the Assyrian Mountain Range. He has neutral karma rating. Like, literally, this dragon is nothing. He's low. I mean, yeah, he was a dragon and everything. What makes a dragon scary is like the ice breath, because the ice status effect is pretty significant, for sure. But you know what's funny? The ice status effect does not affect undead or anyone because they don't have a temperature, you know. So one of the biggest things that probably helped the ice dragon be as powerful as he is, because ice dragons are extremely good into beings like us, humans, or any type of race that has warm blood, like basically everything, right? So I can understand why a frost dragon would be scary, but against undead, that's like the biggest counter to a frost dragon to begin with, because grasshawk can only kill a set level below him. So people should have known that, like, oh, the Frost Dragon must not have been that powerful. And I know in the book they talk about it a little bit, but I know for sure, because you might not have read that part because you skipped the fight scene completely. But yeah, like, the Frost Dragon was, look at, a lot of the big dragons died a long time ago during the Great War before Ainz came up, with the original new players that came before Ainz. Like, a lot of the big powerful Frost Dragon that was like high level is gone. Died a long time ago, you know? Like, so this guy is nothing, because there used to be like the highest level of Dragon Lords that existed, like Platinum Dragon level for every element, I believe, originally, but they all died out in that war, which wasn't even that long ago, really, technically. And look at, since the Slave Demos series has been doing a pretty good job making sure there's no big war again, that like it's just like a slow build up, you know. And obviously the Frost Dragon here is clearly a cocky asshole, because dragons are some of the most intelligent beings in the D&D universe. Extremely intelligent. There's a reason why they can naturally cast magic, naturally, you know, and they have the strength of like multiple high-class heroes by themselves, just in general, just for existing, you know. Like, they are literally the full kit and up, you know, which is why a lot of them tend to be pretty cocky, you know.
Yeah, but they use wild magic too.
Yeah, some of them do. I believe there's still one dragon that uses wild magic that exists in the New World, I think, but I know not all of them know it because it was something taught down. But since the other big dragon lords were killed, it wasn't passed down completely to everybody. But don't forget too, their breath is also considered a natural weapon. That's not a D&D. That's not a dungeon. That's not a Overlord thing. That's a D&D thing. The breath is considered a magic spell, but it's considered a natural weapon, which is some of the most powerful being. A dragon's breath is some of the most powerful things. It will always be like a showing of how powerful they are. Because dragons in the D&D universe are absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. They're some of the always like the most biggest bad guys, you know. Let's not even get down to talking to Tamerlane, which is the dragon god of like the D&D universe, or the dragon queen and shit, you know.
Yeah.
And that shit gets complicated. But yeah, no, it was not surprise anybody. I wish I could say, guys, there's more to him, but there really isn't, you know. But we're gonna go ahead and continue a little bit here. And honestly, guys, I've talked about this shit before. Philip, what's gonna happen to Philip is exactly what
Philip.
It's gonna, what happens to him is exactly what you guys think is gonna happen to him. I talked about this in my breakdown, but if you want to shine some light on that, you want to kind of give him like what happens to Philip, or basically what we know happens to Philip.
Okay, so basically, as we know, Philip attacked the carriage to like gain a little, to like trying to press the kingdom, trying to get some elite nobles to like, you know, see him and wanting to work with him. He thought everything was a good idea. He thought he will somehow or some way surprise Albedo and make her fall in love with him and all this shit. He's a stupid idiot. But let's just say after the war starts and Philip slowly realizes that he was the cause for all of this to happen, like instead of helping and gaining the attention of his kingdom, he destroyed his entire kingdom because he decided to do something so stupid. So basically, Albedo is pissed. Something the last episode wasn't so good touching upon was that Albedo was extremely sad about like.
Well, we kind of saw it a little bit because she felt because she basically got the stick this time around because I was like, why would I punish the seven the 7 8 fingers, whatever they're called? Why would I punish her when she was covering Philip? But you are the one, you're the leader of this operation. Why would I punish her when I should be punishing you? So we did get to see some of it, and people don't understand that was probably the biggest thing for Albedo, because she's never had been put in a spot like that, to still that Ainz, she literally says nothing, because she's like, Ainz is right, I should be punished, and she doesn't say anything because that's not what she wants either, It's like they don't touch about it much in the anime. They're like, obviously, but we did see a little bit there. They go past really quickly, unfortunately. But it was a big deal because Albedo should have got punished. She fucking Xiaotu got the biggest punishment ever that she could have, which it wasn't much of a punishment. But Albedo basically got a slap on the wrist. And I'm just like, so disrespectful. As a Xiaotu lover, disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly. But something to complement that, something they didn't really talk about in the last episode they cut from the light novel is that during this whole sequence where Albedo tells everything about Philip, Albedo's Ainz, in his inner dialogue, he talks about Albedo is looking like a kid scared of scolding because she is so sad because she thinks in her head. Just so you guys don't, they really never talk about it in the anime at all. But some of the NPCs actually think that the other Supreme Beings left because their servings wasn't good enough, and that they didn't do their job fully. So for Albedo to do this blunder makes her believe that Ainz is actually going to be extremely upset with her, and it could lead to him one day leaving because she thinks she isn't doing a great enough job of doing her job, making sure Philip didn't do this shit, keeping Hilma in check. But to touch upon the Philip thing. So basically Philip, he starts to drink and basically becomes an alcoholic during the whole war, the devastation of the kingdom. And at the end of Volume 13, Albedo actually goes back to his mansion, or the nobles have this big area of ground that could be maybe 100, 200 acres of land where his mates was, his dad was, all their servants. So basically Albedo kills everybody. Comes to Philip, says, "What's up? You a fucking idiot. I fucking hate you." Basically tortures him, shows him that she has impaled everybody on these wooden sticks. Give him the head of his dad and some of his servants, and then she basically just tells him that his dad asked Albedo to torture him extremely much for the death of everybody. So Albedo basically tells him that she's going to torture him for eternity, and that's the ending for Philip. We don't really get much other than that, but let's just say Philip will get fucking tortured forever by Albedo.
Oh, 100%, because she basically did the worst thing she could have to the person she loves, which is Ainz. She basically was like, okay, well, you made me look the worst in front of my beloved. Now I'm gonna make sure you never do it again. And it's gonna be great. I hope we get plenty of that scene.
Yeah, let's just say I hope they don't censor it that much.
Oh yeah. I want to.
In the light novel, it's extremely grim.
Let's just say it. Even some of the stuff in the Holy Kingdom is really fucked up, straight up, fucked up. And I hope we don't get. I hope the fucking movie for the Holy Kingdom is rated R, because I want to see all that shit.
Yeah, me too. I really want them to deep dive into it.
And everything, yeah. I know, a lot of people are probably really surprised about that. Okay, we get Blue Rose. I don't think we have to say too much about them, because technically we don't even know their fate yet. Fully. Just yet, technically,
No.
because they could still kind of show up, you know. But you just want to get a quick summary from like the end of where they're gonna end up in Volume 14 at the end.
I can't really remember. The only thing I remember from season 4 and whole where it actually was mentioned was that one time when Evil Eye was talking with Climb and Renner about.
Don't forget, they're gonna get in touch with that one guy with power armor.
Oh yeah, it's not something I really recall, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So
because it was very short. You know, we're gonna talk about that shit because it's also an opening. But yeah, no, they don't really have a fate yet. They still, you know, are up on the table. I'm sure they're gonna get used for something. But there's no way they were gonna fight Ainz though. They're not that stupid. I mean, they already fought Halberto or Demir technically, and they were nowhere close. Eva is probably the strongest like player on their team, and she's like, no. Like that is literally a monster.
Yeah.
And everything. Yeah. Okay, and this is what is Silver Threadbird, right? I believe that's what's their name. Silver Threadbird.
That's the name. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, we don't get much of them either. They're not that important, unfortunately, either. Like, really. Is there anything you can?
No, not really.
Yeah, they're just there for that, you know, slave.
Yeah, the scene with with Jerkneve and the slave bureaucracy. Yeah, we don't really see or hear about them.
Yeah, which a lot of people might be like, that's kind of unfortunate. I'm like, listen, guys, I don't think it's unfortunate. I think that's just good world building because there's so many other good guild parties that exist out there that we never see. I'm glad they do it. That the author did this, even though we never see them much ever again. It's good that we like them see that they exist, you know, and everything.
Yeah.
However,
touch upon that.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I've seen some people complain about, you know, like Mariama just suddenly, you know, given this group announcing a group like Silver Bedford or whatever the fuck the name is, and just like, you know, they have this one scene and, you know, just never touch upon them again. I think it's for him to, like, as you said yourself, world building. So when the Overlord is done, people can go back and, you know, instead of ending their fate, like let's say, oh, they tried to fight Ainz during the Reese's Kingdom War and they died. He just had them so they are alive, so that we as readers and people who make fanfics can like use them in the future. And then like with Blue Rose, so it's just not to like end everything, but so people can like create upon it. But we will not see them again in volume 13, not 13, 12 or 14, 15, 16, we will not see them.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not mentioned at least.
However, but let's talk about my favorite party group, the Three Ottomans. I want to make this known right now, guys. Like Scar, like that's her name of the main girl in the middle of the arbor, right? Scar, something like that, right? Scar, her name. I talked about it in my opening video. I don't know why I'm blinking right now. It's like Scar or something like that. But I love her character design. I love her character. It's unfortunate I don't see much more of her. I haven't seen much more of her, unfortunately. But I love her as a character. I would pound the hell out of her. I just want that to be known, for the record.
Damn, bro.
I just want to make it known. Like, fuck Shell 2, fuck Albedo. But this girl, now I don't know why I love her character so much. We say so little of her, but I fell in love with her so much, so quickly.
Yeah, I actually like her too, but that's more because I think like we've seen people in the past like see these Death Knights and be like, nah, fuck that shit, I ain't fighting that. And she's just like, nah, fuck that shit, I'ma beat the shit out of that shit. And she just like fight this Death Knight. She doesn't know how strong it is or anything. She just jumps it straight up.
Yeah, and
I thought it was awesome in the light novel.
The worst thing is that she never gets a character card in the book, which makes me so fucking mad. I want to know what class she is, because she uses like an axe, but she looks like she's some type of holy paladin. And I mean, paladins don't use axes though. That's why I'm like, wait a minute, like.
I would have loved her to be in volume 13 instead of Romadillos.
Yeah.
Bro.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about their fate?
Yeah, actually, I can't remember, to be honest.
Oh, really? I'm not...
No, you mean Romadillos or theirs?
Just theirs in general, because, I mean, they fight the Death Knights, obviously, right?
If I'm not mistaken, they died, don't they?
I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure as well. I'm blanking right now. I gotta go back and recheck. I'm pretty sure they die. I will look back and edit their fate in the video. I'm pretty sure they do because we never see them ever again. We don't get a character card in anything. Because usually characters that get a character card in the CG in the books. Usually
No. I know.
Go
Nah,
ahead.
they don't die.
Well, they get fucked
What's-
up pretty hard, don't they? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they get beat up, but if I remember correctly, she was fighting the Death Knights, and the Death Knights was, advancing. They were like holding this little wall to not get into a village, and then Platinum Dragonlord appeared and destroyed Death Knight, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, they get, but they still got pretty fucked up pretty hard. If I remember correctly, you guys understand. In the light novel, there's a lot of shit happening, and sometimes like volume 14 is one of the longest volumes I believe that exists right now, right? 14 is the longest.
Yeah, it's the longest book.
Yeah. Listen, I read all the other books and everything, and usually they're a decent amount to read, but they were nothing like 14. 14 is like a Harry Potter book reading. Like, it is commitment, so we apologize if we don't remember everything about some of the characters that aren't as important. I just wanted to
and a lot of stuff happens.
Yeah, and it blows my mind we're only gonna get like 6-7 episodes for it all,
Yeah, it's understandable they ran through volume 13, volume 11 so quickly as they did. There's a lot of stuff going to happen.
But I gotta say, I better see a lot of Rule 34 of Scar real soon, because I'm unhappy and I'm unpleased. Guys, I'm sure a lot of people are interested in who she is. We're just getting some cool little images here, and I mean, I don't think we have to discuss this too much. This seems like pretty straightforward stuff we saw in the anime. I mean, it's look at this. Oh, seeing this anime is gonna be so sick. Let's just be honest now, like.
But bro, you're going to see her in action next episode.
Yes, boys. I'm so excited. Yeah, we're gonna continue. I'm ready to discuss. Okay, let's talk about this. Yes, we need to talk about this. Yeah, because you know how many people were so fucking confused? They're like, okay, there's a mech guy and then there's some weird dragon guy at the end. Okay, all these players from the New World 2 or what happened, Let's talk about this. I discussed this pretty heavily in my breakdown, so I'm just going to go do that real quickly, and I'll just have you add on after I discuss it. So basically, I believe it was just called the power suit. It was basically an armor meant to level up low-level people quickly. Like, you would put it on, and you were like you could be level 1, but you would have like level 50 stats. It was meant to like quickly level new players in a guild to like catch up to like mid-level and then go from there. And I want to make this known, this armor is good for sure, but nothing beyond, like, if I had to give it a rate, it's maybe 5 to 6, like it's like a 5 out of 10 to like a 6 out of 10. Definitely other equipment beyond like level 50 would beat this armor easily. But no, it was just a power armor used in the game, nothing too fancy. I forgot the guy who's using it. I know he's one of the people that recruit. Go ahead.
His name is Asif.
Yeah,
he's just an adventurer or something.
Yeah. I mean, of course he is. I mean, he's basically level 50. He doesn't do shit just because he has his armor on.
Yeah, exactly. But this fight is going to be so fucking cool.
Yeah, even though it's gonna be short. It's gonna be short as fuck. It's really short, and we actually have a CG of it in the thingy. I'm sure you've seen it before, obviously. The one in the book, right?
Yeah.
Which is amazing. It's why I use in the background for all my episode reactions, because I mean, it looks sick as fuck. It's probably one of the prettiest fucking things in the book, for sure. And it's probably one of my favorite pictures of Albedo, to be super honest. Just in the CG, just the CG in the book of her, and then the thing like coming her direction just looks so fucking sick. But no, this guy's gonna get bodied. But no, he gets basically recruited to help protect the kingdom, and obviously it doesn't work because they get fucked, obviously.
Yeah.
It which blows my mind because his reaction is so funny because he's never had to fight anyone at all because he had such an overpowered like advantage,
Yeah, until he met Albedo, I realized he ain't shit.
Okay, now let's talk about this. I'm sure everybody's gonna want to talk about this. Let's talk about the brand. His name's it's Brain, right? Brain. Right? Brain?
Yeah, Brain.
Yeah.
For some weird reason, it's Brain.
Yeah, I think it's like Brian or something. I'm like thinking of something else. It's weird. He picks some weird names. Okay, the Brain versus Cocytus fight. Let's talk about this, because this is. I mean, I won't say it's a long fight. It's not a long fight.
Is there really much to talk about? I mean...
okay, we'll go ahead and break it down for us, Mr. Know-It-All. Alright, go ahead. Take it on the wheel. I took the last one, you take this one.
Okay, so basically, like, Brain, he's been training his martial art and think he's fucking strong now because he, like, cut Shaltier's nail last time during season 2. So he's just like, oh, I'm improved my skills. I can basically fight the Sorcerer King now. And then he stumbled upon like Cocytus, and Cocytus, as we know, is probably the strongest warrior in Nazarick. So it's basically a warrior versus warrior. And Cocytus himself is actually kind of, he's like, okay, this could actually be pretty exciting because he's never really fought anybody strong. He obviously fought the Lizard Man during season 2 in the Lizard Man arc, but they really didn't stand a chance. So Cocytus basically got his highest hope for fighting basically Brain. And Brain basically uses this one attack, doesn't do shit, get molested by Cocytus. There's not really much to be honest.
And that's pretty much it for him, right? We don't get see. I don't believe we see much of him after that. Like he basically just loses, and that's pretty much it, right?
This is not from the light novel, but more or less the web novel. But actually, he actually had a continuation after fighting Cocytus. He didn't die exactly like he did in the light novel, but if I'm not mistaken, Shaltir actually wanted him to become like a slave for her, this like vampire dude or something, like her servant, because even though he's weak, he had shown growth, and that was what Ainz wanted to know if the New Worlders could. He wanted to know if the New Worlders who was at their peak could learn new things. That's a running theme we always hear about in Overlord. He wants to know if the New Worlders can actually learn new strength. A little like Hamsky and that Death Knight. We know they've been training because he wanted to know if they can learn martial arts. So Ainz actually wanted to keep Brain alive, like resurrect him and see if he could become even stronger and destroy that level cap that humans have. Because as we know, we haven't really seen anybody level 100 of humans in the new world. We knew there was an Yggdrasil, but that was different because that was basically a character.
Yeah, and then the only people that we knew that really got past their peak was that isn't like, because we know there's people high. We know there's some high level people, like we have the slave Derossery people that they're pretty strong, but they have an advantage because they're new worlders / old worlders basically. They're godkin. So they have an advantage. So we don't count them. They're basically not even like technically human. Technically, if you want to go.
Technically.
Yeah. So, but the only new actual new world human we know that's kind of suppressed its peak was Gazip. But that's because that's only because he had the ring to do so.
Yeah. Exactly. But we could also say Brain did technically because he already had that slice, but he evolved it to combine it with Gazip's because he used his sword.
And everything.
So we could say he improved his own skill.
Yeah, but you think he got higher level than Gazip?
No.
Okay, then
Gazip was the strongest.
Yeah, literally, Gazip was the strongest. This is the reason why everyone respected Gazip. He had assassins on him, and even the same Demacia worried about him. And they had looking level fucking 60 to 50 people, and they still worried about fighting Gazip. Which is crazy, Even though I think Gazip at the end of season 3, with his equipment and everything, he was probably a level 40-ish at best especially with that sword, definitely.
Yeah, and the ring.
Oh, 100%, yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, he gets his ass kicked. End of story. I just think it's so cool because they made it seem like it's such a big deal. Okay, let's now talk about the part everyone wants to talk about. This is gonna be the last part we talk about, but it's the part everyone had questions on, And this is the part I think we're gonna talk the longest about. And it's this. The boys. It is the Platinum Dragon fight. Because if you don't know, this is Platinum Dragon. This is the guy we see at the beginning of season 2. He's the dragon there. He looks straight down at his armor. He has a flashback where Shaltir put his finger in him. Period. This is him. He's not a new worlder. He's Platinum Dragon's avatar. Or whatever you want to call it. It's actually even explain that. It's the terror from Shaltir right there in the image.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, Ainz actually talks about this could potentially not be a player, but I don't know how they're going to explain while they're fighting. But Ainz, or rather, Pandora's actor, for you guys who don't know, it's the Pride Box who fights him. It's not Ainz, because Ainz would had fucking molested him.
Oh
easily.
yeah, because if you don't know, Paradox Actor can only copy levels by like 80-90%. So at worst, at most,
Yeah.
he can only copy Ainz's power from like 80 to like 85 at most, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I think it's up to maximum 80% of the person he is imitating's power, but I could be mistaken. But
Yeah,
the
it's
thing
pretty
is,
close to that.
yeah, but the thing is, Pandora's Actor, while he's fighting Platinum Dragonlord, or at least his armor, talks about his movements in the armor. Like, it seems like it's not a person in there. I don't know if they're going to go through all that inner dialogue, but basically, so you guys just know, but Pandora's Actor already kind of know that someone is controlling the armor from a distance, because the movement the person makes is not what a human will do. Like, he talks about him not bending his knees when he's landing from flying, and he's not really like doing any specific muscle movements. So Pandora's Actor already kind of know that
Yeah.
it's not a person he's fighting, but
yeah.
more or less a puppet.
Yeah, and I want to make this guys notice. So, Pandora Actor, I think, in my opinion, is the most intelligent being in the New World and in Nazareth and everything. I think Paradox Actor is. I honestly believe he is. Because I mean, come on, what else does he have going for him as a character? I have a feeling that by the end of whatever we get through all the books, he's gonna end up being considered the smartest. You know, he's gonna do something that's gonna outbrain everybody, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, Paradox is so intelligent," you know. And I also think he is. There's a reason why, like, even Albedo and Jamij like question, because like he's so like out there, you know. But come on, he has nothing else going for him. You don't think they're gonna? I have a feeling the author's gonna make him like more intelligent than we think he is, and I just think he really is. I think he's probably one of the more intelligent thing, because we do have pieces that kind of piece that Ainz might have explained to him a bit about the other world, slightly. You know, he might know a bit more about the other world. You know, like the thing that doesn't exist for everyone else. The other full gods don't know nothing about the real world that Ainz is from. But
Pandora's Actor.
You go ahead.
I think Pandora's Actor knows a lot more about Ainz, but he doesn't tell anybody.
Yeah,
because as we know, he's the creator of Pandora's Actor.
Yeah, and don't get Ainz has talked about how he made him kind of unique than everyone else, you know? Because Ainz wasn't like the other Supreme Beings. He wasn't looking to make a max level, you know, like monster, you know, like Shelter. He was doing something unique with Paradox Actor, and we haven't he talked some about it already, but people need to understand Paradoxa is something really unique, you know, as a character, just as a build, and just him as a character himself and how he acts. And small things he says in the novels, in the anime, it's weird. Like, and even in the OVA in the anime with the little chibi versions of them, he's like, it's weird. Like, I have a feeling he might know a bit about the real world, but he just doesn't care, you know? He's like, yeah, whatever, you know? Like, he knows it, like, maybe he knows it exists, but doesn't really understand how to comprehend it, but he knows. And I think that alone, if that's true, makes him more intelligent than the other beings, you know?
In my humble opinion, I actually believe that Pandora's Actor is one of the strongest Lore Guardians too, because he can change into everybody. That's not every time in the subreddit Overlord. Everybody talks about, who's the strongest between Albedo, Shaltier, Demir, Kokaitis, but nobody actually ever puts in mind Pandora's Actor. We should remember he's a level 102. He's one of the smartest. Every time Ainz refers to the smartest NPCs in Nazarick, it's always Demir, Albedo, and Pandora's Actor. He's extremely intelligent. Plus, as a doppelganger, as we know, he can imitate all 41 Supreme Beings, including wielding their weapons. I mean, he could basically turn into Touch Me, use his armor, use his weapons. He could turn into Peroncino, Buku Buku Chagama, Hero.
He could basically do what Ainz did in the fight, but do it in real time.
Yeah, and he could even surpass Ainz in that matter, because something that people really don't realize, and not a lot of people notice, but Pandora's Actor, as we just talked about before, he can take 80% of the person's skill and power from the person he's imitating. That means if he turns into Overlord, the Mirror's creator, he could basically
one shot a lot of play. He could basically one shot a lot of people because what's his name's creator literally did some of the highest DPS in the game. Literally enough to even one hit raid bosses in the Richter Soul game. Yeah, it would basically make him. It would basically make him useless for the rest of the fight, but it's possible, you know.
Yeah, but we can talk about the floor guardians and who's the strongest and their
I think this is it was a good opportunity to still talk about it because everyone's like, oh well, it's not Ainz, and who cares? It's nice to talk about a little bit because I think if there was anyone he was gonna copy and do well and want to make proud, it was him copying his creator. I mean, let's just be honest. Because I mean, he's copying his dad basically. Of course, he was gonna do it and go hard, you know, and he goes hard in the fight for sure.
I was actually, when I first read volume 14, sorry, and I was, reading this fight, and I was like, what is Ainz doing? Because I was kind of surprised because I was like,
oh yeah, because we
actually kind of getting ass whooped.
Yeah, because we want to make
at the same time
we want to make it clear. We want to make this very clear that like we don't get told this is Paradox Actor till the end of the book.
Yeah. But I was basically like doing the whole fight. Ainz was like, kind of getting his ass beat by like Platinum Dragonlord. He was getting hit a lot, and he did not really use any of his big spells or anything or his magic, but he did summon some pretty impressive. He summoned undead and stuff.
Yeah, we finally get to see Ainz be the class he's wanted to be because he doesn't use a lot of undead summons when his basically whole class is about summoning shit. Basically, but we don't say against the Shoutail fight. Cause everyone's like, "Oh, the Shoutail fight was the best fight for Ainz in terms of like showing his power." Not at all. We get to see what he's really doing against Platinum Dragon. You see more because him being a summoner makes him way stronger than people think. His summons are disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
If I'm not mistaken, during the fight he's actually summoning level
like 100.
It was evil level.
Like 80,
but he summons that one.
Oh, the fucking
one undead king.
Yeah, no, I think isn't it a horseman? Isn't it one of the horsemen? One of the horsemen of the apocalypse? I think.
Yeah. But it's level 90, if I'm not mistaken.
It's stronger than Pandora Actor is, which blows my mind. Because don't get Ainz's staff itself could summon elemental gods that are like level like 92 for funsies for free.
Yeah. But the thing, I remember reading it and I was like, damn, I was kind of sad that Ainz didn't go all out. And then the fight is done, they come back, and Ainz sits in the throne. Pandora's Actor walks in as Ainz and was like, nice job, Pandora's Actor. And I was like, damn, was that Pandora's Actor? That was fucking impressive. How the fuck did he do that? Because he summoned some really powerful monsters. He used some really powerful spells compared to he's not a caster.
And what blows my mind is that we don't even know if that's Ainz's strongest summon. We don't even know he has something even stronger. This is one of my own predictions just in general too. I'm hoping the world item he uses is gonna somehow summon a fucking like max level undead dragon that he'll use like in a final battle, and that would be like his ultimate summon. Like that'd be sick as fuck, right? So there's no way that's his ultimate summon. There's no way.
We don't really know what his world level item does. The one he always carries with him.
Yeah, we just know it's something to defeat dragons. We know that much. We know at least that much. It's something to do with dragons. I believe so. I believe there's another YouTuber I watch. I'll link his stuff here, and he does talk about it. He talks very little about it because there's very little know, but we do know he does mention that that it has something to do with dragons. So
the whole fight in general, if they don't use CGI but actually animated, that fight is going to be so good.
We know. I have a feeling that's where it's all gonna go. I just have a feeling because that's at the end of every season. There's always like a big fight at the end of every season. There's been. So this is probably gonna be it, for that one. But yeah, no, I don't want to talk too much about the fight itself. But we also know Pandora Actor wasn't trying to win either. We know for sure he wasn't really.
He was trying to gain information.
Yeah, that's all. That means Pandora Actor might have been able to just straight up body this guy. He might have been able to use even stronger summons if he wanted to. We don't know because we don't know that. Pandora Actor wasn't even getting pushed that hard either. And don't get
Pandora's actor was more or less playing with him.
Yeah, and he didn't even use. Don't get Pandora actor at any point can just make items appear from the treasury. He has full access to the treasury like no one else has. He can just make items from the treasury appear in his arms. You know, anytime. He literally can bring out anything to deal with the situation in any way. He could have. Probably could have easily bodied this guy.
Yeah, easily. He could have killed, or at least destroyed the puppet. But that was not. When people see this, I don't know how much they're going to. Why the fight was.
I'm hoping, dude. I'm hoping. Don't spoil this for me, Shander.
Have you read it?
Yeah, I read it, but I mean, don't like ruin the moment for me, all right? Like, I'm hoping this is gonna be the shit. This better be like the best fight in the last 4 seasons. I need it.
But I just hope they actually do it properly.
Please,
because they haven't done that.
Yes, please. I want the full 1 to 1.5 episodes for this, like the shelter fight. I wanted a full episode for it and like half an episode for it, just for it. That's what I want.
But I'm kind of scared they're not going to do that because after next episode, we see the fight with that.
This is what I mean by spoiling the moment. You can't be negative, guys. Be positive, everybody. Madhouse will do a good job. Alright, positive.
I don't know. No, they're not. They're not good. They're not going to do that shit because they're fucking stupid. They don't know how to use shit properly.
I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to bring this negative person at you.
Now, let's be honest. You gotta remember the thing between Climb and Ainz happens after the fight.
Yeah.
And they need to put that in too. And that's not short.
Sanders, why are you doing this to me, Sanders? Why are you doing this? I pray. Guys, it's gonna be sick as fuck, period, alright? And period. Okay. Well, anyways, but let's talk about the ending of the fight a little bit. So, Platinum Dragon goes done, the fight ends, and he's like, oh, Ainz is not strong as all. I could kill him in my regular form easily, right? And he doesn't even know that was nothing close. Nothing close. Because Platinum Dragon is a he's like a white dragon basically, not an ice dragon, more like a holy dragon. So he can actually, well, in D&D, a Platinum Dragon would be like holy magic with a little bit of mixture of other things. But no, he's kind of anti-undead already, in a way. Yeah. So he thinks this is the most powerful, because he thinks that Paradox Actor is going hard. Well, he does go hard, but nothing like crazy, not like, because I think it's pretty agreeable that we both agree from what we saw that Paradox Actor probably could have easily taken this version of Platinum Dragon easily.
And Ainz could have. Ainz didn't need to do shit.
Yeah, I think Shelter could take on Platinum Dragon's armor by herself, honestly.
Yeah, but the interesting thing we see actually is I believe that most of the NPCs actually could have beaten the Dragonlord the puppet Pandora's actor. Yeah. Because as we know, he used that spell that what was it called? The spell that trapped Pandora's actor so he couldn't get out.
Oh, I'm blanking on it too. It's not an easy name to remember. But no. Go ahead.
But the thing is, the Platinum Dragonlord said that that was one of his most powerful spells to keep people in check and trap them. But we see Albedo break through it easily. She just flies through it like it's nothing and just comes in and Albedo almost fucking kills him with that one attack. She made him run.
Oh yeah, even Albedo. She
just came in and just pushing, man.
Even though Albedo is a tank, she does some DPS, and I think that's in Albedo. That's why she uses a two-handed weapon to kind of make up for lack of attack power. Because which makes sense, in D&D, you would use a two-handed weapon to make up for if you have really strong armor, which we know Albedo does. She wears extremely heavy armor. They're that makes sense why she wouldn't need a shield because. Well, she doesn't need her armor is basically the shield, so she can actually use her two hands to use an actual powerful weapon, And yeah, I mean...
armor can tank super tier magic and world level items, so...
Oh, easily.
I don't think you need skills.
Even though I am praying just in general too, by the end of everything, by the end of Overlord, everything, hopefully we will get a fight where Ainz will go all the way. We have to at some point. I'm praying that we will get it, because even in this season, guys, I'm so sorry. Ainz clearly doesn't fight Phantom Dragon, and he doesn't go all the way, guys. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sure that's disappointing to everyone. Even in this season, Ainz doesn't go all the way, 110%. He doesn't. Sorry, guys. Even in the shelter fights, he doesn't go 110% really either, because he doesn't get to use his full kit and go all the way, you know. So because he can't use any of his summons against shelter because all this shit was happening, right? It would be suicidal. He would lose basically, you know, because Ainz is literally, he is a summoner build. Yeah, he can do that shit and that's cool, but he is a undead build about summoning undead, you know. And you know, it literally is. So yeah, I'm sorry guys, and even in season 4 we are not gonna see Ainz going 110%. Even in the most current light novel right now, Ainz is not going 110%. And I'm hoping we'll eventually see a fight at some point before the end of the light novel series where Ainz goes 110%. 110%. Like,
it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, I know. I want to see Ainz's max summon. This has to be something. I want to see his use his wool item. I want to see it all, man. I want all the boner, right? I want it all. I want Sheltier and Albedo to be dripping wet. All right.
Something I'm a little curious what they're going to show or not, but this is actually the first time we also see Ainz actually wanting to kill someone before gaining knowledge.
Oh yeah, because Platinum Dragon does some because at first Ainz doesn't know why, because Platinum Dragon's been doing a lot of shit behind the scenes.
Yeah, but the thing I'm talking about is we see when Albedo and Pandora's Actor gets back, and you know Ainz is like, oh, what did you learn from fighting him? What did he say? And you know Pandora's Actor is like, I don't think that it was literally him. I think it was a puppet and all this stuff. And Ainz is just like, okay, let's try and figure out who it is and let's just end them right here, right now. I don't want to know anything. And Albedo is like, nah, let's not do that. Let's like capture him, trying to, you know, push him over to our side, make him fight for us. And Ainz is just like, I don't really actually want to do that. I just want to kill him. But Albedo is like, I want him to be alive. And that is probably, I don't want to go too deep into this, but a lot of people think that Albedo wants him to keep him alive. For the first two, of course.
Oh, are you thinking it's for the hit squad? Yeah, okay.
Because
We'll touch that on a little bit, but let's not discuss too deeply into that because I want to do a separate video on that. But you go ahead and give a very, very brief summary of what the hit squad is, or what the theory of it is.
Okay, so if you guys remember in season 3, episode 5 or 6, where the people, you know, break into Nastarik and Ainz, you know, the whole thing with Arch fans knows what I'm talking about. Her group gets killed. She gets killed. She deserved it. I fucking hate Arch. I'm just saying right here, right now. Stop playing.
Oh, okay, relax. Okay, all right, go on.
Nah, they're so, man, they're too much, these Arch fans. But so basically, Albedo, you know the scene where Ainz tells Albedo, oh, I'm confident in leaving the defense of Nazarik to you. And she's like, and you know, Entoma comes in and says, the people they killed, their parts got used, blah, blah, blah. When Entoma leaves, Albedo in the books actually asks Ainz a favor to create a search squad for looking for the other supreme beings. And Ainz is like, I don't really want to, because she's like, let me use Rubedo. And as we know, probably anime onlys don't know, but Rubedo is basically, let's just say she could kill every single 41 supreme beings.
Oh yeah,
we can go into a video about Rubedo another time.
Oh, 100%. That's gonna be a whole discussion. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, because she is fucking crazy.
I think Rubedo is the strongest being just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there, but yeah, go on.
But yeah, so she asked, let me get a squad, let me get Pandora's Actor, let me get Rubedo, let me get these high level summons. And Ainz is like, why do you need all this? And she's like, oh, I want you to be happy, I want you to, you know, I want to find them for you, and you know, they could be here. But the thing we don't know, or Ainz don't know, we know, Albedo hit squad is kinda looking, yeah, she's looking for the supreme beings, but also trying to kill them while finding them. Ainz doesn't know that.
Yeah,
and something that's like puts that's evidence to this is during the prologue of Volume 10 and in the start of Season 4, we see Albedo lying in Ainz's bed and being like, what will Ainz do? What kind of country will he make? And in the book, they actually say she will obey everything Ainz say, but he's the only one she wants to obey. So basically, Albedo wants to kill the other 41 Supreme Beings.
She doesn't want them to come back. That's why actually this is another good example too of that. You guys remember the flag of like the whole guild was on the floor in her room because she actually doesn't care about the whole guild anymore. She only cares about Ainz's flag.
Yeah, and that
was kind of an example of that. They touched on that very little in the anime, but that's what that was referring to. That she doesn't care about the other Supreme Beings anymore. Not even about her own creator. She only cares about Ainz now. You know, and I'm sure that's gonna be a thing in the future at some point in the book. It has to be. They're building it up too much. But yeah, and so she made the squad. She's gonna make the squad. So if she does find any Supreme Beings, she will murder them so they can never be found.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people. There's a lot of talks about it that Hit Squad, not really anymore because let's just say something happens in Volume 16. That doesn't matter. That's for another discussion.
Yeah, for sure.
But people think it's because the setting he changed with being deeply in love with the manga.
Yeah.
But a lot of people actually believe that that's something Tabula actually, since she's extremely evil, it could make sense that she has a hard time dealing with it in general. Because a lot of people actually think that Ainz changing Albedo actually kind of saved him from such a grim fate as she wants the other 41 beings to go through. Because she doesn't really only hate them because she loves them, but because she hates the fact that they all abandoned them. I talked with Brugo. Brugo, you guys who don't know, that's the goat of Overlord. That's the Overlord professor, the guy who runs the Overlord Reddit, shout out to him. He actually said that he believes that the whole thing with Albedo is actually not only because of her love, and he made a great example with imagining working side by side with your guard, and we know the NPCs sees the Supreme Beings as their guards, and one day they just fucking leaves you alone, just leaves without telling you anything. So the whole hatred thing is probably going to build up. And we're probably going to see Ainz need to
deal with the situation.
Say something to Albedo. Yeah, and probably maybe fight her like he did with Shaltir. That could actually be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think Ainz is going to. As we know, Maruyama wanted to create 50 books in total. So I think he created this
scenario.
For, the sake
because you've noticed that every so often we had the Shelter fight, we had the Dimage fight. I see a pattern where maybe he'll build up where he'll fight every single one of his guardians at least once,
Yeah, because
I think that may have been the plan originally.
But we could also take into consideration that the whole Hit Squad thing could be turned into something good. You just said you wanted Ainz to fight fight for real during the end of Overlord Volume 17-18. And something that I talked with some other Reddit people about, a nice ending, or at least a solution to the Hit Squad thing now that it's mentioned heavily in Volume 15 and 16. I don't want to spoil anything before we get to know a little bit more and the official translation comes out. But some people actually believe that a good ending will be Ainz being ganged up on by other Dragon Lords that will support Slave Ferocracy during their fight. And Albedo will use a Hit Squad to help Ainz because he's been, in this dire situation. He's being ganged up on multiple Dragon Lords. They're using wild magic. And the whole Hit Squad could be turned into something good because Albedo actually believes Ainz already kind of know what her true intention is. But he's looking away from it. He don't really want to accept the fact that he's basically said yes, kill his friends. That's what Albedo believes because, as we know, they think Ainz knows everything, but he really doesn't.
Well, the funny thing you mentioned all that is because did you ever play the Overlord mobile game?
Mass for the Dead?
Yeah, did you ever play it?
I played it a bit, but for some reason my account didn't work at some point. So
Yeah, well, there's this really cool moment. It's like for a little event thing in the game. There was actually, and it has a CGI. I'll show you it in the. I don't know what CGI is, but I'll show it in the video for people when I edit this and everything. This is really cool CGI where it's Ainz is like, okay, guys, I want all the full guardians to come at me, like legit come at me, like for real, like fight me for real, basically. And and there's a cool CG of it of him summoning all his biggest summons that we all know, and all the full guardians are ready to fight it. And it's such a cool CGI. And I'm like, a cool little CG image. I'm like that. I want a moment like that at some point. That'd be so sick. Cause people don't understand. Some of these summons are really fucking disgustingly strong. Like just the Hanzos by themselves are like level 80s. They could kill a lot of the New World people by themselves.
they could probably gang up on the floor guardians and kill them too if they wanted to.
Oh yeah, you know, and or at least get rid of a lot of them, like easily, you know, like especially even poor Demirj, because I mean we all love Demirj, you know, happy farm daddy, you know, we all love him, but let's just be honest now, like his stats are just not there for a fighter, you know, he's more of a leader rather than a fighter, so a few Hanzo would definitely make him not have a good day.
Yeah, they will give him trouble. Big time trouble.
Easily. But okay, I don't want to get too much. We can talk more about stuff. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good place for us to stop. I mean, we pretty much covered everything for the Platinum Dragon fight. You know, and we don't know how much more they're going to show after. Even though there's a chance that we might see a little bit more beyond Volume 14. Maybe, like a setup. Because they're going to have to put something. How they're going to lead up for, like, the next season. Because we know we're going to be getting another season.
But I think we actually know the answer to that.
Do we? Do we do it?
Yeah, it's a theory of mine, but it would actually make pretty good sense.
Yeah. But I just want to know in the anime they're gonna try to set something up for like the next season. That's what I'm trying to think.
But that's what I talk about, because I can't remember if it's in 14 or 11, but they show an intermission with the Elf King.
Oh yeah.
They show an intermission where he talks about his country and the fact they are going to war against slave bureaucracy. They could use that as a form of ending.
As like a placeholder, basically, to be like, hey, this is what they're gonna be doing next. Oh, I see. Because that's, if you guys don't know, that's what happens next in the next actual volumes. They start going into the Elf City stuff or the Elf Kingdom stuff.
Yes.
You know.
But I just think since the intermission actually happened during the, I think it was in volume 11.
I believe as well, and because I remember that pretty vividly. We don't get much information about that in general. Just like how we don't just like how we didn't get a lot of information about the Dragon Kingdom. You know, we give a little of that as well.
Yeah, exactly. But it will be a nice like cliffhanger to like see.
Leave it on.
The Elf King like sitting at his throne, being like.
Oh, and if they don't do it in the anime, I want them to do it in the movie. I want them to do something like that in the movie at least. Like where you stay at the end of the credits and you get like a little part to show like, because we know the movie's coming out after the end of at some point after the season 4 will be done way before the movie's out for sure.
Yeah.
So it would be nice. Maybe that would be like an ending thing they'll show to kind of like, you know, like how they do the like for the Marvel movies, how they show like a teaser for the next big thing that's coming. You know, maybe they'll show like that intermission at the end of the credits of the movie. That'd be really sick. That'd be an amazing idea. Because what's the point? They want people to go from watching the season 4, and they want those people to go from that to go to watching the movies, which is the order they expect you to go by. You know, I don't think they're expecting you to go from like episodes 8 or 7, whatever, and then go straight to the movies and then go back to season 4. I don't think that's what they wanted. I think they want you to watch all season 4, then go watch the movies. If that's the case, I want them to show the intermission with the Elf City at the end of the movies after the credits. That would be perfect. That would be hype. That's exactly what Sonic the Hedgehog 2 did. If you ever watched that movie.
Yeah, I watched that movie.
Yeah, did you watch
the thing is,
go ahead.
I think a lot of anime onlys would be so fucking confused if they showed that backflash or the intermission with the Elf King during the movie, because as we know, the movie is supposed to be.
We know the movie's good. We know the movie's gonna like get put online. Let's just call it. I mean, I don't support this. I need to make this very clear for the internet. I do not support piracy. I don't support anything illegal. Support the things you love, please. If you can, of course. Support your love. Marihana, if you ever see this, I love you. I have all your books. I love you. Don't hate me. Anyways, I mean, it would be. We know it's gonna get on the internet. It's gonna get on the internet. The movies. I'm sure in the few days it's on theaters. Someone's gonna record it with a really good camera. It's gonna look really fucking good, real fucking close, and it's gonna be on the internet. We know already. Easily. That's what happened with the Face Day Night Heaven Filled movies. They were on the internet a few days after they were in the theaters, fully subbed and pretty damn good quality already. And that's why I'm like, we know it's gonna be up there, so I don't think it's gonna be that damaging. And we know, I know so many people that get spoiled so quickly by just the Reddit and the comments for most of this stuff. So I'm sure it would probably be fine. You know, I mean, I'm being a little greedy, but as someone who bought all the books, I think I earned that right, okay? I'll throw money at that shit. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, no,
I actually think it's funny that all these anime only is getting spoiled on the Reddit though. I think it's so funny.
Yeah, I think there was a comment by someone called Pepsi Guy on one of my videos saying like how he was spoiled about what's gonna happen to the Recessed Kingdom through the Reddit a long time ago and all that stuff, you know. And I'm like, and it's unfortunate, you know, because in my episode 8 preview, where I just discussed what was in the preview, I made it more a discussion saying, hey guys, be careful. A lot of cool shit happens in 14. A lot of people are just spoiling shit just out there, and I'm like, be careful, because you're gonna get spoiled and it's gonna ruin it. Because the build, if you didn't know what was gonna, you didn't know the build up to the volume 14 stuff, you know, like, it's a good build up. When I read the book volume to that point and got to the end of volume 14, it was such a good build up because we've been with the Resistance Kingdom for such a long time. We've been following so many of their characters. To finally get the payoff was so rewarding for me. For it just to be spoiled, if someone spoiled it for me, it would just not have been as worth it for me. And in volume 14 wouldn't have been as good of a book to me. So seeing that for people for the anime, I'm just like, I don't want people to be spoiled. I do not want to spoil it. That's why I made it very clear. Hey, don't come here unless you want to be spoiled. And that's why even in my discussion videos, I've been making it very clear. Hey, do not spoil this shit. Like in my preview trailers, when I'm like, I don't want to spoil this, I'm not doing so. Even in my breakdown, I kept away of why all this shit is happening. I kept that part of because the Resistance King are literally defending the land because they're about to get fucked. I literally made sure I didn't say anything like that because I didn't want that to be known, you know, because they obviously win, obviously.
But the thing is, with the subreddit, they actually says in the description, spoiler anime only. So I don't really understand why people like, you know, come in and bitch. I understand like I'm not information and stuff.
Yeah, I don't blame Reddit because Reddit's gonna see this. Reddit, don't hate me, Reddit. Don't downvote my video. I love you. If I can get the main Reddit mod on here, I will as well. Don't hate me. All right, I love you guys. But listen, guys, you need to relax a little bit, okay? And just like the anime people need to calm the fuck down too, guys. All right, let's all be friendly here. I want the Overlord community to be a loving community. Let's be lovely, guys. All right, please. I love all of you. I mean, I do. I want everyone just to be happy. All right, please, like, calm down, guys.
I mean, I called somebody yesterday like a fucking nerd on the group and got like 30 upvotes.
Fucking Jesus. Thanks, Sander. Thanks for being the image for the. Thanks for being the image. I don't think the main mod would support that action. As a Warhammer fan, the codex does not support that action. All right, if you get that. Reference. If you get that
he
reference.
He was talking mad shit. I had to like, you know.
Oh my god.
Humble him a bit.
Yeah, I get you. But okay, guys.
If you ever see the comment, you will understand.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'll show me after this. I'm sure. Yeah. But anyways, guys, yeah, I think this is a pretty good part to end this on. The rest of the opening is just them being up here, which I mean, it's just nice to see all the Spring Guardians, you know, like this. It's nice. I mean, all the full Guardians. Excuse me. It's a nice thing. And I'm just happy to see my boy Paradox Axler here. You know, he deserves the love he has. He deserves it.
He's a badass.
He really is, and I think people will like him a lot more now after the Platinum Dragonfly. I just have a feeling. You know, and everything.
Yeah, I think the same.
Yeah. What, Sander? Thank you so much for being here, brother. We spent like an hour and 40 minutes being here. No, thank you, man. Your knowledge was very insightful. I'm sure people on the Reddit are gonna be very happy to have one of their own on the Reddit, on video, because I know a lot of people see my post. I post every week. No matter what, if they don't get a lot of uploads, I do it regardless because I don't care. Because I'm just don't care. I do as long as I do what I love, I do it. But Hey guys, see, I'm trying to do what you guys are doing. There's no webcam here. I brought one of your own people in. What else do you want, Reddit? All right, the fuck. No, but seriously, I'm here for you guys. I want Overlord to be as big as it possibly can. I want to make that aware, and I just want it to be known, you know. And there's not that many Overlord YouTubers around anymore. They're just not around as much, you know. So I hope this will be a start. If you want to be part of these videos and say your piece and debate shit, let me know. Write me in, send me a PM. I'd be glad to bring you on a video, 5-10 minutes, whatever you want, and we can discuss. I do not mind. I want to make this very clear as well. I'm not here to disrespect anybody, you know. If you come, be civil, please, or I will just put your shit on blast and make you look stupid. But anyways, but no, thank you once again, Sandler, for being here, man. I appreciate your time, you know. I know you're at work doing this, but I still appreciate you very much, brother.
Of course.
You know,
it was fun.
Yeah, if you know, since you've been here today, man, I didn't tell you this, but I already planned ahead. I will definitely get your address, and I would like to send you an Overlord poster.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Just
keep in touch with me and stuff, man. We'll get your address down, man. And I'll even let you pick the image, and I'll get it fancy printed on a big board like you see my giant Overlord poster I had in my last video.
Yeah.
We'll find an image you really like. I'll get it printed out, and I'll just have it sent to your address, and it'll be cool. Or I'll give you the money. You can send it to your own address, whatever you want to do, man.
Yes.
And everything.
That sounds like a plan, bro.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for being here, guys, and thank you, YouTube, for being here. I'm Sonic Sam. This is Sanders, and remember, guys, hentai connects all of us, and I and Sander will see you with Overlord next time.